Hello, all of my mic masters. It's me, your host and tutor and guide on this wild adventure we have called voiceover for voiceover training for beginners. It's so wild I can't even say it. Anyway, guys, hello, happy holidays. Just checking back in so we can go over what we discussed in our last video, which is us doing a audition from beginning to end. All right. Now I got on my Santa hat. I'm feeling festive, guys. So just want to give you a heads up. This is our last video of 2025. We will get back to it in 2026. So for now, let's get started. So I found a old audition, and so we're just going to do that. Let me share my screen. All right. And here we go. All right. So, anytime you start an audition, you want to read through the audition clearly, obviously. Make sure you don't leave anything behind. So, this says, please read Greek followed by next milk and give a second alt read of both scripts. Greek 1, next milk 1, Greek 2, next milk 2 on one MP3 file. No slates, please. Thanks. All right. So let's go look and see what they're talking about. So we got the Greek next milk. All right. Let's see. Is there anything down here? No. So it's saying, okay, so basically it just wants us to do it twice in a row. You'll do Greek 1, next milk 1, and then Greek 2, next milk 2. So basically they just want you, they're trying to tell you the order they want you to read it in. Okay. Now this is open to male or female, non-binary. All right. So everybody is included. And they are looking for an age that sounds 45 to 65. Now, just because it says that doesn't mean you have to be 45 to 65. It simply means that's what they want the voice to sound like. So remember on one of the videos where I talked about the tone of your voice? This is where you want to have a lower tone, right? And you want to speak a little slower. So that gives a much older feel. So it says our VO is relatable. Our VO is reliable, reasonable, confident, experienced, voice of authority that feels of the land. They always have these weird things, guys. Not folksy or country sounding, but rather salt of the earth, self-assured and grounded. They speak with natural gravitas and tell it like it is, matter-of-factness. Okay. They're a straight shooter and the ability to deliver lines without apology. Like, this is important stuff, my friend. While they lived a rich, full life, they are far from old. They've just seen it all and have no patience for beating around the bush. With all that said, we're not looking for anything romance, polished, or announcery in any way. The reads must be grounded and have some weight to them. So they gave us all of these adjectives. What I get from this when I read all of that is they want a person who sounds older and like they know what they're doing and they're giving advice, right? That's what I got from it. So they give celebrity prototypes, a more relaxed version of the tell it like it is narration of Kevin Costner in The Art of Racing in the Rain. So they give us a link to click on. Let's see what this link is. Let's see who they want us to imitate.
No race was ever won in the first corner. And lost there. You should know. I was born to be a race car driver, but there's only one problem. That's not me. That's me.
How cute. So you hear what they're going for, right? They want to hear your voice in a very, down to earth, I'm the person who's here to give you my story sound. All right. But they're also looking for the steady tenor of the first 10 seconds of Viola Davis's opening argument in How to Get Away with Murder. So let's click on that and see what they're talking about. See what they're saying here. Let's see what they got for Viola. Well, sometime today. Come on. Hold on, guys. Here we go.
In 1993, you developed the land at Penn's Landing into what is now Truco Plaza. Is this correct?
Let's see. I know this. You know this. A few million people annually that traffic the plaza know this. Can we cut to the chase here? My constituent.
So basically, very grounded, very smooth, no up and down in your voice. Cause that's the same way that Kevin Costner sounded in the other example. So, with that being said, we see what the words are. Kind of hard to believe that something so rich and creamy didn't require a single cow. Silk Greek is thick. All right. Then the next, dairy milk is great. We love it. That's why we finally made something so rich and creamy you won't miss dairy. Dang. It's silk next to milk. All right. So they're telling you how to label your file with your gender, name, studio capabilities, if possible, and location. So I normally will just copy and paste. So again, just to go over these, this is a mail. You'll put your first and last name. And if you have Source Connect, that's studio capabilities. Source Connect, as I've explained before, is a way for you to record away from wherever this client might be, and it'll sound like you're in the room with them. Source Connect is a paid subscription, and it's something that you use when you book a lot of work, right? If you're not a regular booker or you're just starting, you always want to go to whoever trains you. 9 times out of 10, they have it. And in my case, it's Bill. Y'all know I always rave about my Bill. He has Source Connect. I just had a booking with him yesterday. And so, yeah, Source Connect is important. Now, this next one is a female, first and last, DTL. That is another type of patch in like Source Connect. So it sounds like you're right there with the person. All right. And then for the next one, non-binary, you'll put your first and last name, and they don't have any studio capabilities. So they didn't put any, and they just put where they're from, Chicago. Of course, this is Los Angeles. This is New York. So for me, I will copy and paste this first one because I do have access to Source Connect. So now let's open up Adobe Audition. All right. As I've said before, anytime you want to start, you go to File, New, and Audio File. And this is where I will paste. I am in Atlanta, so I will put ATL. I do have Source Connect, so I won't change that. I'm going to put my name. And, And I'm going to put that I'm a female because I am. If you were a male, you would leave male. If you were non-binary, you would put non-binary. And of course, you would change your studio capabilities as well as the city if you're not in Atlanta. All right, we will click OK. And now we're ready to record. So there's no slate, which means I don't have to say Marty A. Rye, who I'm signed with. I don't have to say anything. They just want me to get started on the audition. So I'm going to click record and let's go for it. So remember, lower register, even kill, matter of fact. Let's see what we come up with. And for time's sake, I won't do them twice. I'll just do each of them once, okay? Kind of hard to believe that something so rich and creamy didn't require a single cow. Silk Greek is thick. Dairy milk is great. We love it. That's why we finally made something so rich and creamy. You won't miss dairy. Dang. It's Silk Next Milk. And that's it, guys. Now, of course, normally I would have done it twice. I didn't necessarily like how I sounded, but for time's sake, we want to show you what to do and how to edit this. So now that I'm here, always my first step, I'm going to make some room for me to grab some dead air so I can use it for my spaces. I'm going to highlight this. I'm going to right click. I'm going to silence it. Then I'm going to steal a little piece just for myself. All right. I'm also going to cut this down because if you see, it's a wide space and we don't need that much space at the beginning or end of our audition. So I'll just come here, highlight, and delete. And I click delete on my keyboard. Now, what I did at the beginning, I'm also going to do on the end. Highlight and delete. All right, so we just have a little space at the beginning and at the end. Now, I do know that there's space in between here. So I'm also going to highlight my space. And I'm going to right click. And I'm going to paste. Or actually, let's not paste. Anytime you make a mistake, don't forget, you just go over to edit up here at the top. And click undo paste audio. So now it puts it back. So now I'm just going to silence it. All right. That way I still have a good amount of space in between. And it's a lot. So I'm going to just take out the middle, make it a little closer. All righty. So because I've been doing this a while, I automatically see all the spit. We had the training about spit, guys. But because we're learning, let's listen. Kind of hard to believe that something so rich and creamy didn't require a single cow. Silk Greek is thick. Dairy milk is great. We love it. That's why we finally made something so rich and creamy. You won't miss dairy. Dang. It's Silk Next Milk. All right. So we messed up, right? So we want to take out where we messed up, which is here. And just to verify, let's listen to it. Right? So would you silence it or would you copy and paste it with our little space, with our little dead air? I say, let's copy and paste or paste. So I'll right click, I will control V. And now that mess up turns into our dead air. All right, let's listen. Kind of hard to believe that something so rich and creamy didn't require a single cow. Silk Greek is thick. And that's that. I will, because this is a lot of space in between the words, I'll take a little bit of that out and delete. And then I'll also take a little bit of this out so that way it can be closer together. And let's listen one more time. Kind of hard to believe that something so rich and creamy didn't require a single cow. Silk Greek is thick. And that's it. We're done with the first half, right? Super easy, I think. Okay. And now let's listen to the second part. Dairy milk is great. We love it. That's why we finally made something so rich and creamy. You won't miss dairy. Dang. It's Silk Next Milk. All right. So if you guys can hear, there's like a little feedback. I'm not using my actual microphone simply because I want you guys to get the real effect and I don't want to have to deal with the microphone. So I'm kind of just recording through the computer, but all of that staticky feedback, that's why you hear that. If I was recording through my microphone, we wouldn't hear any of that. But we got let's open this up here, move down a bit. You can always move with this little guy. And you can always remember, move with this one, but it's going to go through the sound, right? So let's see what this is, right? Because this could be the end of a word. It could be spit. Let's see what it is. Great. We love it. That's why. Let's see. Dairy milk is great. We love it. I didn't give a t. And that's important. So we will take that out. What's this?
That's
Sounds like spit. Let's try it again.
we love it.
Oh, that's the T. It. All right. And because this is also great, I'm going to highlight that. I'm going to right click and copy. And I'm going to put me a T, the end of my T right here since I missed it. All right. Let's listen.
Dairy milk is great. We love it. That's
Right. I'm going to put a little space here. Uh-oh. But remember, if I paste right now, what's going to go there? Not dead space, the that we just did. So I need to go back, grab me a little space here, right click, and copy. So now let's go back to the middle where we were in between the great and the next part. And we're going to put a little space. All right. Let's listen.
dairy milk is great. We love it. That
All right. Let's listen to the rest.
that's why we finally made something so rich and creamy. You won't miss dairy. Dang. It's
All right. So with this, it's a lot of space. And if you look really close, there's little bit of sound here. We want to get that out of there. So, we are going to highlight and we will control V so we can put that dead space back in there, that dead air back in there. And another here, we got a lot of empty space. So we are going to, right click, regular click, and then drag your mouse right to, we don't want to cut off our word. So anytime you're having a hard time trying to lock the end where you want to highlight, you see it keeps going there, just open it up a little bit more. Okay, let's move this over. Well, I might have opened it too much. All right, you don't want to do it too much to where you can't see. So we will click here and drag. All right, and this is the ending of a word, or it could be spit. I'm not for sure, but so before I do anything, let's listen.
dang.
It's just some spit. So we want to get rid of that too. So let's start from here. You can start from either side and drag to the top of that word. All right. And now we're going to control V and put that space, that dead air in there. All right. Let's listen.
You won't miss dairy. Dang. It's silk.
All right. That was too quick. We need more space. Let's go back and let's put some more dead air. Let's see how it sounds.
You won't miss dairy. Dang. It's silk next milk.
All right. I want to put some space in between that dang and the next part. All right. So let's listen.
Dairy milk is great. We love it. That's why we finally made something so rich and creamy. You won't miss dairy. Dang. It's silk next milk.
All right. So that's it. So now what I do after that, I will close up this space a tad bit more. And now I'm going to go back to the beginning. I'm going to press play, and then I'm going to go look at the script to make sure it's word perfect.
Kind of hard to believe that something so rich and creamy didn't require a single cow. Silk Greek.
Hold on, let me start over because I want to see the words and read along with it.
Kind of hard to believe that something so rich and creamy didn't require a single cow. Silk Greek is thick. Dairy milk is great. We love it. That's why we finally made something so rich and creamy. You won't miss dairy. Dang. It's silk next milk.
All right. So would I submit this? Probably not, because I don't like how I sound. But I wanted to show you guys from beginning to end how to do an audition. So with that being said, if this was the audition, we would go back to our agency's email. We would click the Dropbox link and we'll drop it in there. First, we would hold on. I stopped sharing too quickly. Hold on. let's go back a bit and let's go back to Adobe Audition. So we are done. So we're going to click File, Save As, and we're going to change this to a MP3 file because that's what they asked for. You're going to save it in a folder that you're familiar with, and you're going to click OK. Now it's saved, and you can go over to the Dropbox, as I said before, and go ahead and drop that file in there, and you're done. So, congratulations, you just did a whole audition. All right, so next time, next year, we will get into some more things. I'll have a whole bunch of new topics for you all. Stick around and make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Please leave some comments and let me know what you've learned from me this year. We just got started. There's plenty more to go. So I appreciate all of my mic masters. Thanks for joining me. And hey, happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, happy Kwanzaa, and just have an amazing holiday season, everybody. See you later and Merry Christmas. I'll see you next year and Happy New Year, everybody.